have Tomes granular layer, Tomes processes. Retzius, I guess, only worked on one thing, so that's the only thing we have on Retzius. And what is this tissue or tissue product that you see there?
Brian. Called you Ben.
Enamel. Okay, we can see the enamel rods. We can see the inner rod material. So this is a ground section through enamel. And how about this right here? What is this classified as? Gnarled enamel. Okay, and another example of gnarled enamel. In fact, you can see those enamel rods twisting. So that gives the appearance of the gnarled enamel. And that's normally found where? Cusps. Okay, and how about that thing right there? What is that? Enamel lamella. And again, we have lines of Retzius. And how about these lines we see going in that direction? Enamel striations or enamel stria. You can see the enamel rods going up and down that way, and this effect that we see is called the enamel stria or striations. And right here is what? Another enamel lamella. If you write lamella on the test, that would be incorrect. It is a enamel lamella. And how about these right here? Enamel tufts, right? And how about these right here? Enamel spindles. In fact, some of those you can actually follow those down right to the dentinal tubule, to the dead tract. So those are enamels. How do those form? Yeah, an anablastic process pokes in between the ameloblasts, and it can't lay down any enamel protein there, and so you get these gaps that show up black because they're filled with organic debris or perhaps some trapped air. So those are the enamel spindles. Okay, and what is that thing right there? Permanent tooth bud. And there is the testicular lamina. That would be fair game for the lab practical. Okay, and how about that cell, that cell, what are those? Fibroblasts. And just looking at this cell right there, and perhaps that one, where might you guess that this slide was taken? Pulp, right. Because we have stellate, oftentimes have stellate fibroblasts within the pulp. Much like a mesenchyme. Okay, so here we have, this organ would be what? Pulp organ. And right here we have a ring of cells, those are what? Odontoblasts, and what is this area right there? Cell-free zone of Weil, and then we have cell-rich zone. And we have structure right there. Probably in the back of the class, you can't really see that very well, but what is that? Nerve. And we have vessels. On the lab practical, I will not expect you to differentiate between an arteriole and a venule, but you should certainly know the capillaries and the lymphatics. Okay, and so we have a couple of arterioles there. We have some capillaries. There are a couple of nerves. And let's go on to the next slide. Probably a venule right there. And that right there, what is that? Nerve in process. And possibly a lymphatic vessel over there. And I don't see right offhand anything that looks like a pericyte. Okay, well, same thing here. And what are all these fibers that we see around here between the cells? Collagen type 1 or collagen type 3? Okay, mostly collagen type 1. Okay, well, we've got a little pre-dentin right there, we've got odontoblasts, cell-free zone, this is all stuff we've seen on the previous slides. And it is doubtful that I will find other types of cells within the pulp, but what type would I not be able to find? Period. Common to other types of connective tissue. B, lymphocytes. Could find just about everything else. Okay, and what is this thing right here? Okay, who said pulp stone? Okay, that's wrong. Say true pulp stone. Okay, so we have true pulp stone because we can see the dentinal tubules, and you'll be able to see them in the microscope in the lab practical. So that is a true pulp stone or a true denticle. How about these? False pulp stones. It's times like this that I wish I had listened to what my father told me. How about these cells right here? They're not very active. This one's in the process of becoming another cell. It's a cementoblast. Okay, this slide's not going to be on the lab practical. This one could be. What is this right here? Acellular cementum. How about this line of cells we see right there? Cementoblasts, and what are these?
Incremental lines.
Incremental lines. Okay, and there's acellular cementum again, and let's go on to the next slide. How about this? Cellular cementum. And what are these black spots?
Cementocytes.
Oh, those are lacunae. Cematocytes are all dried up, you can't see them. So these are lacunae, and we have canaliculi coming off, going towards the PDL. If you want to see a cematocyte, we can go back a couple of slides here. There's a cematocyte right there. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. And this is a demineralized section, and there are some more cematocytes and some more incremental lines. In fact, we can see some of those Sharpie's fibers that have come in from the PDL. What condition do we see here?
Hypercementosis.
Hypercementosis. And what is this tissue right there? Cellular cement. Okay, and how about these cells right there? Osteoblasts. And how about that cell right there? Osteocyte. How about this cell? Osteoclast. How do you tell the difference between an osteoclast and an odontoclast?
Depends on what it's eroding.
What?
Depends on what it's eroding.
It depends on what it's eroding. And what is this thing right there? Epithelial rest. Right.
So close.
Okay, now, you should certainly go over all of the fiber groups in the PDL. You got to be able to draw this in your sleep and be able to recognize them on the lab practical, including the transeptal ligament and also the associated gingival fibers. Now, the only gingival fiber I'm not going to ask you about or put on the lab practical would be the alveolo-gingival fibers. Very difficult to see. The other ones certainly can be found. Okay, so right up here we have what? Alveolar crest, and in here we have horizontal fibers, and right there we saw that one before. There's what? Dentogingival fibers. Is that part of the PDL? No.
That's dental.
How about these fibers?
Dentoperiosteal.
oblique. It's the oblique fiber group. And down here we would have what? Apical fibers. And how about these? Interradicular fibers. And these are what? Ancestral fibers. Okay, and surrounding this vessel right here, in that vessel we have a little bit of connective tissue, and that connective tissue is what?
Interstitial.
Interstitial tissue. That's all it is. And how about that structure we see right there?